We are currently operating out of food tent. So far it's been great. We've been invited to a bunch of pop-up events, private events, catering, and it's been such a blessing being with Off the Grid, especially this whole year since April. So good crowd, good community. We do offer really good Korean fusion food in the Bay Area. And so just wanted to be, have it accessible to the community and just share our food with everybody. And so far it's been great. So hopefully next year we'll be able to get, our first food trailer or food truck or even a storefront. Awesome. So excited for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
You have a GoFundMe going right now.
Yeah, so I do have a GoFundMe. Yeah. Just launched our Kickstarter as well. So yeah.
Amazing. Gregoire.
First of all, thank you for the award, and it's nice to recognize the hardworking people.
Yep.
And thank you for the reward.
The work is all in all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you. So I'm Gregoire. I started Gregoire in 2002. It was a very small takeout. I just wanted to be a neighborhood restaurant, focus on food. Local vendors, and just takeout, no sitting, and limited service. So we did this for many, many years until the pandemic. More or less we had built many business in between, but on the Gregoire brand, during the pandemic, we really, I had a haha moment where the community really came together to Gregoire, and we were here for them. And I wanted to share this many years prior, but the pandemic was really like, we got to do that with other people, and we decided to go the franchise way. So I've been franchising for about 2 years now, and 3 years. And we, a year ago, found a first franchisee that's going to open something in San Francisco in about 3 weeks now. And so that's one big jump. But in between that, I wanted to grow the brand and make sure the brand gets recognized in the Bay Area. So the best way for me was to get a truck. And so last year, at the same time, we put a truck on the road. And we've been with Off the Grid ever since. So that's it in a nutshell.
Very good. So I'd like to start with the awards that you got. So I think it just kind of makes sense to go with y'all first. So can you talk a little bit about the journey from year one of running a food truck to year two? Are there any kind of aha moments that happened for you about kind of the journey of your business over that time?
Yeah, so the first year when we started the pre-order, and then we're doing a pop-up the food tent. Then we jumped to the food truck. So when we run a food truck, we do a lot of public sales. So on that year one, we do a lot of public sales, and when we work with Off the Grid, then we got more catering. So that kind of aha moment, oh, I should do more catering. How should I do that? And so that thing actually kind of opened eyes, how to do business, not only just from the public sales, but catering is that is good money over there. Mm-hmm. So in the next the next year, the second year, we want to focus more on that catering stuff. And then I know our food, Indonesian food, not many people know about Indonesian food. So when we try to bring something Indonesian food that people more how people know Indonesian food, how to make it more familiar to people. So in terms of that catering.
What is your number one selling product?
So number one in public sales, we do the bakso iga bakar, the Angus beef rib with noodles and meatballs, one of the best sells.
Really good curb appeal for anybody
Yes.
who hasn't seen it. It's a huge bone that's sticking out.
Right.
It's. I always think about, as you're walking around, what's the product that people are going to be like, where'd you get that?
Yes, correct.
And that's definitely.
That's actually one of our marketing purpose, putting that rib on top of the bowls, where we're trying to be stand out and different from other people, because like I said, nobody knows Indonesian food West Indonesian food. So we're trying to be stand out in different way. Yeah.
So it sounds like the shift from public sale to catering was really a main focus for you over the last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's coming. We want to focus more on that thing because we feel like we miss a lot of opportunity by when we got invited by all the people like to make a proposal for the catering menu. We got many of them, but we feel like we not maximized enough when we got the opportunity to make a proposal. So now we're thinking like how to create that menu that people want.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a challenge, but I think we can do that for sure.
They are really two different things, two different kinds of mindsets, really. I think what we find with a lot of the most successful public sale, we call our partners creators, what the most successful public sale creators sometimes don't translate to catering because it is a somewhat different mindset.
Yeah.
And so, like, how to be structured in that way, but also have the marketing kind of capability. Speaking of marketing capability, Papi over there, your alter ego. I mean, can you share a little bit? You, by the way, are recipient of Social Media Person of the Year. And for those that don't follow Korean Papi online, you should. I hope you do. He's a good follow, I think, because for me, the authenticity of who you are really shines through in almost all of these different aspects of where you're participating, your journey. How do you think about social media and marketing in relationship to your business?
Oh man, honestly, social media, I feel like it's a really big thing nowadays. I feel like that's where, you tend to put your brand out there, right? And people tend to repost your stories or posts and they share it and, it's all about word of mouth, right? So networking is really important. I feel like, there's also like other platforms like, Yelp and Google, but I feel like social media is a key of finding like, like where's the next best thing, especially with like the food, community. And like I said, I feel like there's not much Korean fusion out here in the Bay, and I feel like that's the whole, sole reason why I want to start here. And so just being able to, do my thing, do my own content, it's a one-man show, but like it's a lot of work, but at the end of the day, it's like, one of my passions, right? Just putting myself out there in my brand, my business, and just getting, my followers and just trying to get up there, and make my name known. And so far it's been great. So yeah.
Do you choose one platform where you want to focus, or how do you think about where you want to invest your time?
In terms of
Social media, marketing, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I do invest a lot of my time. And not to call out my fiance, but she's always like, oh, like you're always on your phone. And I'm like, hey, I'm doing this for my business. It's one man show. I don't have a social media manager right now. So that might be in the works, maybe hopefully in the future. But right now, I need to do it all on my own, right? So make content, need to post stories and make up like creative content and just getting all that engagement, right? It's very important as well. And so yeah, just investing your time in that, I feel like it's really important, especially if you're like a new business owner. So like I said, like if you put yourself out there, especially on like Instagram, TikTok, wherever, I feel like it's really important because that's how people find you, right? So I've been blessed to even collab with other Instagram, TikTok influencers. They try my food, they help me promote it, and that's how I also gain followers as well, right? So yeah.
I mean, I think I'm just remembering back to your feed, and like I think I've seen you deliver stuff to like a TV studio, maybe, and I think you were like in Festus's comments, trying to get him to come, and you were successful at that. So like, does that just come pretty intuitively for you of just wanting to be a part of the conversation, or is that like I'm curious about how you think about it?
Yeah, so I mean, the way I do it personally, persistent, right? Sometimes with like big names like that, celebrities and big influencers, they get really busy and sometimes they miss your DMs or comments. But if you're very persistent, like hey, like you should try my product, and honestly, it's also about like word of mouth as well. I actually did get referred to some people as well with like other organizations, especially with Off the Grid, and which led me to Festus finally with one of the coordinators here and also another food vendor as well. So it's been great. It's just all about connecting with people and just yeah, it's just really important to just to have like a big community,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So it's been great.
Well, and I think also it's not like random like celebrities, right? It's like people who are really invested in community types of things. Like it definitely comes through.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like you did something with Russell, kind of. Was that like you dropped something off?
Yeah. So apart from like feeding, Festus and so I was able to go to like Russell's backyard show with my homeboy Kevin. Shout out to Big Kev. He actually bought tickets for us, and I've been meaning to feed him, and so I finally was given this opportunity. Like hey, might as well just bring my food to him, and it was good to like meet him in person, chop up a little bit, and like hey, like I made this food for you, like let me know how it is. And sometimes you don't get a response, right? But at least you get your name, your product out there to that person.
Yeah.
And it's been a blessing to also like feed, like also like Larry June, sometime like last year, because I actually showed up to his bike party that he had for one of his new album release.
Mm-hmm.
So just showing up for them, I feel like they appreciate that and just like reciprocate back,
Yep.
right? So just gotta put yourself out there, just show up, and then they'll do the same. Yeah.
So Gregoire, the truck in a lot of ways is a marketing asset for you, right?
Yes.
So like, I'm super just curious about how you think of that in relationship to, do you think about the truck in the same way that you think about it a restaurant? Or do you think about them in completely different kinds of ways?
I mean, you have to think of being an asset
Yeah.
to the company. So it is a revenue center.
Yeah.
It has to make money in order to be sustainable. But the idea behind the truck, number one, was to bring another business to the franchise.
Yep.
So now I have restaurants, brick and mortar, that can be accessible by franchisee, and I also have a truck that can be accessible, or they can have both. Because now, after a year of being in business, I have numbers I can show, and it's not a concept anymore. It's a real thing. So that's going to go in my next financial document for the franchise. But at the beginning, when you start a brand and you want to promote the brand, the more eyes are on the brand, the better it is. And what is better than a truck? I mean, yes, I debated going, I have cash. I can't do a brick and mortar. I could have done that. But a lot of people said, do a brick and mortar. My marketing manager, a lot of people just were not hot with the idea of having a truck because it's not certain, but I had this vision. And, I have to say, I've been in this business for 14 years. I mean, since I'm 14, so it's 42 years. But before I was 14, my first job was in the food truck.
Mm.
I was 10 years old, and I was making crepes.
Wow.
And I was going from market to market with a friend of mine. He was, I love to cook, and he had a truck that was making crepe. He had 2 crepe machines. And so I have an affinity for food truck,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's a great tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great tool to really bring your what you love the most. Because some people don't have the cash to bring it into a brick and mortar, so it's not as difficult.
I really feel like if you only have one restaurant, but you're thinking about expanding, and you want to test out different places, different markets. I mean, a food truck so at its minimum, it is a 30-foot billboard for you driving around the city, right?
It was very important, very, very important. It was so many iteration of the design of the truck. I hired people, I mean, I could have done it myself, it could have Dorian, but I hired my marketing team, which, really my branding team that I've been working with for the last 5 years to rebrand the restaurant into what it is now. Working through, back and forth and making sure that the truck reflect us, reflect where we want to go and what we're doing. Because it's not a brick and mortar, it's a truck. So we have to treat it that it's a truck. It's a fun place where you can get food accessibly anywhere, and it needs to reflect this. And also in the design of the truck, we added different aspects of it that are important to me in the service business. So that's another story.
Well, I mean, the design of the truck, I mean, the really interesting thing about this panel is I think your truck is very visually distinctive. The design of it, it's definitely yours. And so I guess for you, as you were thinking about designing it, what was the most important thing that you wanted conveyed from the customer experience?
Well, Gregoire is all about customer service and quality, food quality. So it needed to reflect this. We're very efficient as well because we're all taken. So it needs to go, it's high-end food into a box that we design, and it has to be fast. So all this together was very important. And we started to put it in the truck because, I mean, the equipment is different, the setup is different, there is all those obligations that you need to have with the health department. But we did it. We actually came up with a truck with has great customer service, high efficiency, and a great design in order to bring the people together.
Okay. I think in particular when I think about your truck too is the visibility inside, the sight lines inside. A lot of, for those that don't really understand, a lot of trucks you're just because of California retail standards, you're just up really high. And so it feels like there's a separation between the customer and you, and I think your truck does a good job of trying to overcome that.
Yeah, so we have an area where the guests order the food with a cashier or someone that and it's open to the public completely with a big window, and then there's a separation in the truck for the whole kitchen. So we don't have to have a window in front. So we just put a very large window where you can see the activity and the actions. There's no screen. There's no screen door. You cannot see a screen door. The screen door is inside the truck between the cashier and the kitchen. So I didn't want that. Plus, the cashier area is lower to the ground, about 2 feet from, 2 feet different from the kitchen. And so the cashier is lower to the ground as well. So it's more like you have, your vision is not overpowering the customers. It's more at the same level.
It's really cool. So you're thinking about buying a truck.
Oh yeah, a truck or a food trailer. I mean, whatever I can get my hands on.
So when you think about a truck or a trailer, are you thinking about it moving around all the time? Are you thinking about it being stationary? What's your vision for how you want to operate a mobile business that's in a truck?
Yeah, so definitely would like to be on wheels, so very mobile. I mean, the ultimate goal is to get to travel with a food truck or a food trailer, not just within the vicinity of the Bay Area, but going all over parts of the U.S. Hopefully, that'll be awesome to share my food. So yeah, I mean, if I could just post it somewhere permanently, I can do that as well. But definitely, the main goal is to just move around, just wherever I can get. So
I can see you on the Great Food Truck Race.
I actually got invited. Yeah, the producer reached out and then they're like, hey, they want to come on the show. I'm like, maybe I'll think about it, because it takes, you you have like dedicating the whole month off
Yep.
of not working, you know, so it's a little risky, but who knows? I mean, we'll see.
I can connect you with some people who've done the show.
Yeah?
And
Okay.
learn a little bit about the experience.
Yeah.
The Tyler Florence, local
Oh yeah.
local chef,
Mhm.
host. So yeah, it's an interesting one. But I could see you doing the grand
Yeah.
2,000 miles with your trailer.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that'd be so awesome. So
Very cool.
yeah.
So a little bit of a different question for you about your truck. If you could wave a magic wand, what would you change about it? Is the truck as you, yeah, because I think you didn't necessarily do a super custom truck, did you? Or like how, like, did you design your truck yourself?
From everything,
From everything?
kind of.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
so like like the equipments that we need, and then Krishna, my wife, did all this marketing, like the appearance of the truck. So
Which, the wrap is,
the wrap.
is so eye-catching.
So she hired someone from Indonesia.
Yep.
So we want to like how to make Indonesian food stand out. We hired someone to design design from Indonesia.
So we want to represent that when you see the truck, you see like, because we put the white and red color, which is our flag color, and then kind of like inspired from our president
The
plane.
airplane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we had brainstorming with the advertising agency, like how we want it, and then that's the first job for them too, the first project for the food truck. So yeah, we're working like couple months and until become the reality. And yeah, we do some, for me more like exterior work,
Yep.
and then for him more like kitchen, the interior, like how he wanted. Yeah.
Nice. How many employees do you have?
For now, I have two.
2 employees?
Yeah.
Who is the next employee you want to hire? Like, what role is that?
So in operational, like in my moment now, because getting busy, so especially without the grid, a lot of catering going on, and I feel like I need one like manager to help me because like I run everything. I prep, I cook, I go outside sell food, right? So now I'm thinking like how can I improve on this by hiring manager can like run the food truck, go out and sell the food, so I can produce the food, make sure it's standard, make sure it's in the good quality. So that is the plan now.
And are you hiring right now for a manager, or will you wait until the spring?
I'm actually start spreading out, like talking to people, like
Okay.
hand out my name card. Hey, I need someone to help, So that is the next year plan.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about you, Alex? How many employees do you have?
Well, mainly it's just my fiance and I.
Okay.
But with bigger events, I tend to take on about maybe like 1 or 2 staff.
Yep.
Sometimes to be honest, it's really hard to find reliable people.
Yeah.
So like they say like, hey, yeah, I'm able to help you on this day, but sometimes they just have, and I get it, but at the same time, it's just really hard if it's just like, us two working the event, especially if it's like nonstop back to back. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm content with whatever we made for the day. So, I mean, it's just, yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it though. So.
I think a lot of people don't appreciate, like, food businesses are physically intense on their own,
Yeah.
but doing a pop-up kitchen food business, the physical kind of aspect of it,
Right.
it's no joke.
Yeah.
It's no
and-
joke.
Hours.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, oh man, so I remember this one festival that we did in Alameda. It was we got staff called out last minute. It was just my fiance and I working the event, and it was just nonstop throughout the whole day, and it was very humid, and it felt like we were very dehydrated. We felt like we were about to faint. And but you know what? It's like we made it through. We pushed through, but at the same time, it's hard. And sometimes you just want to like give up and just up and leave. But it's like I I said, you just gotta be very strong-minded about what you do. If you're passionate about cooking and providing customer service, it's definitely worth it in the end. So I feel like now I used to have high expectations when I first started out with the whole food business thing pop up, but now I'm just trying to be more humble about it. I'm just like, what, if we don't make enough profit or sales on this one day, then it is what it is, right? So it's not the end of the world, right? So one bad day is not going to be like one bad life or one bad life, so yeah, I just say just keep going, If it,
So
yeah.
who will your first full-time hire be?
Who will be my first
Full-time hire.
full-time hire?
Employee number one, other than your
Yeah.
fiance. What is that person going to do?
Oh man, I would say definitely maybe someone who can, I don't know, like a manager, assistant manager, or someone who can float around.
Someone that can help in the kitchen?
Definitely maybe another cook or someone, because it's a lot, man. It's just managing everything, just floating around cooking and taking orders, and it's a lot of workload. But yeah, could definitely use another extra hand or two. So we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Gregoire, how many employees you have?
Altogether, or in the truck, I have 2 full-timer and about 3 part-timer.
Okay.
1 manager and 1 cook that are full-time. I you want to ask me what? I don't need to hire anybody.
Okay.
I need to be more thoughtful about. Well, actually, let's put it this way. The first year was run year that I needed to understand how it works and how things are managed. Being there for my truck manager Josh, that's running the show, and next year, which is coming, this is gonna be his show. So I'm gonna back off, and I'm gonna let him do things now. Seeing how he performs, because I wanted to go after gigs and organize gigs and talk to customers. Now, if he's too busy with this, then we'll hire someone that can replace what he was doing, which is the day-to-day things and maybe a cashier or something like that. But this is the progression of starting a business, because it's a starting business too. So.
Yep. Did you, Josh, your manager, had you worked with him in your restaurants?
Everybody wants to come back and work for me.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Josh worked for me 17 years ago. He worked for me for 3 years. And then he went on doing his things. And 17 years later, I'm building that truck. And we always kept in touch. And he goes, I want to run your truck, man. I want to run your truck, man. I want to run your. Okay, fine, you run my truck. So he came back and ran the truck. But I'm fortunate that, when you run a business, it is very important that everything is important. First, your employee, because you don't have them, you can't perform, and your customers. Okay. If you get this, you'll go far. I mean, my employees are been with me for many years, and not luckily, just because you're nice to them, because you pay them well, because you treat them well, you listen to them, you help them, and they'll leave and they'll come back.
Mm-hmm. I cannot stress that enough. Like OTG, we've been at this 15 years, and it's amazing to see people come back in the orbit, and maybe you collaborate, or maybe they're doing interesting things, and you want them to be successful. And it's a small world in this universe of the Bay Area and food, and so, but it's amazing when people come back.
Yeah.
It really does feel great. You all were talking about the curb appeal, the visual appeal of your beef bone on top.
I want it.
Yeah, you gotta.
Let's go.
Gregoire, you have this amazing box. How did the box come to be? Where did the box come from? Can you share a bit of the story? So for those that don't know, he has this amazing, it's a hexagon of a box that's beautifully branded.
Yes.
And where did that come from?
from a place of dissatisfaction from all the years I worked in kitchens and make doggy bag in high-end restaurant with foil,
Mhm.
you know, and just all the takeout stuff that was there 23 years ago was not for my food. My food was classy. My food was cared for. My food was beautiful. I was the black sheep because Gregoire, this food, how can you put it in the box? All those chefs were, friend of mine would go, are you crazy? This is never gonna work. Well, I'm gonna prove you wrong because I'm gonna design a box. I'm gonna design a box because it was not available anywhere. There was nothing like it. That's gonna carry my food and make it better. Keep it hot, keep it moist, or not if necessary. We have vent on the box for fried food, no vent for food that's not fried. So why did it came? Well, I lived in Berkeley and I was working early in the morning and it's like I had a book with boxes and I just came up with it with a computer. I had an old Mac, and just working and cutting stuff and came up with that. I bring this idea to a box manufacturer in San Leandro that bettered it. But for 10, 15 years, the box was made in San Leandro,
Mhm.
so locally by the same manufacturer. And then they closed their plant, so I moved it to Sacramento. So it's still done locally.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, most people like the clamshells like
Yeah.
they're brought in on the shipping containers, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of amazing that you took the time to design that box.
Yeah.
You don't have to answer this question, but I have been super curious. The cost difference between that box and a clamshell,
Mine is cheaper.
much cheaper.
Yeah.
Amazing. Really?
Even printed.
Okay.
It started at first it was not printed. So they come flat. We have to build them. Though I'm always working for the future.
Okay.
Right now they're flat.
You've got a robot folding
Yeah.
machine on the way.
Yeah, I pay them $23 an hour. So they come flat and you build them and then you put a liner in it. So that's basically the idea. Now when I first got them built, it was open corrugated. So they were super fancy. It looked wavy. It looked like like a present. And then we would put a sticker on top. And then over time, the open corrugated got unavailable. We used to buy 1 year supply of corrugated. Once a year, we would buy a whole supply. But then the plant in Los Angeles just didn't make it. So we couldn't find any more corrugated. So we had to pivot into another area. So we made it a bit more of a marketing tool. So no more stickers, but a bit more of a story around the box. And it was like this for a little while. And then when I rebranded it, that changed to another story around the box that was more where we wanted to go. So, but I can tell you that I have garbage people coming to my shop saying, what are you putting in that box? Because we see it all over the city.
Mhm.
Can we have some of that? Yeah, they're in all the garbage, and you can tell
Yeah.
when there's a Gregoire box somewhere.
Well, I mean, it is this little piece of like marketing material for you, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people underestimate the opportunity that exists there around that. Do you think about creating a custom package for your
Yeah.
stuff?
We've been always looking for, especially here. Yeah.
That's why we try to make like the little flag on our ribs, so it's kind of like eye-catching, and then people like remember.
Yep.
Because whenever you go to fancy restaurant or something, the first is a presentation. So for us, it's like that's why I've been like discuss with him. But again, the thing is the cost
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the amount. Like we have to order
Space.
like bulk.
The storage.
The
Yeah.
storage, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
like
yeah,
the
it can be
idea.
cheaper, but there's not enough storage. And then you have to, buy tons of it, and then you have to take a lot of cash out, and then let the things sit in the storage for a while, and then, yeah, that things I need to learn from this guy.
I may have a
so-
solution. I may have a solution for you. we order now. We order about 90,000. Well, right now just one restaurant and one truck. About 90,000 boxes every 6 months.
Every 6
Okay.
months.
So, but that is like about 25 pallets of box, and I don't have the storage. So I have someone that stores them for me and delivers them for me when I need them.
Ah,
You know.
Awesome.
So
Amazing.
We did learn from you.
What about you, Alex? What do you think about the packaging kind of
Oh yeah,
experience?
packaging is very important. Like I agree with her. Presentation is very key, right? So sometimes we would make some, like little toothpick flag logos with a logo on there, and we'd say like follow us on Instagram and with our Korean Papi's Kitchen logo. And so I feel like in the future I definitely do want to get like a better like packaging for like takeout boxes, right?
Yep.
Because a lot of customers, they ask for to-go bags,
yeah.
and so maybe like putting our logo on the bags as well.
Yep.
So it's all in the works.
Your most popular thing, your fried chicken sandwich?
Oh, man, so we get asked a lot. What is your most popular items? And I'm like, well, to be honest, everything, because we have very like limited items on the menu, about like 6 or 7. But I would say the top 3 personally would be the Korean bulgogi tacos, the kimchi fried rice,
Yep.
and I would say maybe the Korean cheesesteak.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Gregoire, I think I know the answer to this question. Most popular thing on your menu?
it has to be the potato puff.
So for those that haven't tried Gregoire's potato puffs, they are
Yeah.
magical.
Yeah, deep
Golden
fried
nuggets.
mashed potato balls, and it's come in the batter, so it's pretty simple to process. It's pretty hard to make, but when you have the technique, it's okay. And we just deep fry it as we scoop it out, and we cook them off the fryer. We serve it with homemade mayonnaise that we flavor, and that's it. If you want ketchup, that's fine. Or gravy, we'll give it to you.
I just like so many mobile food businesses in particular. A product becomes synonymous with that truck or that business, and so like I guess just a bit of a pivot here, but like for people thinking about maybe they're operating a mobile business right now, if you had a piece of advice of what took you to the next step for them, is there any piece of advice that you would have for them?
Can you repeat the question again?
Is there a particular piece of advice that you would have that was eye-opening for you about elevating your business? I think like the last year in particular, the emphasis on catering maybe, but
Right.
like, is there something practical that you could share with people who are thinking about starting or maybe they have a mobile business but they're struggling a little bit of what made an impact for you?
I think you have to consistently like looking for what people like. I know sometimes like me, I love cooking. I've been in the food industry for like 16 years, graduated from culinary school, and like sometimes I'm being like too conservative like with what I'm doing. Like I want to cook certain Indonesian food, but when you go out there, you can't do that. You just need to keep looking what people like, what people, what kind of flavor people want, So our food at first is very conservative Indonesian food, like bakso, traditional bone broth, noodles, meatball, homemade. That's all we sell. But throughout the time, now we have like the ribs. So we put that ribs, and suddenly, boom, and people like, wow, I want to try this food. So that's how to get people. And now and then now we like thinking like what else we can. We don't serve chicken most of the time. Now we start putting chicken on the menu, and then like when we put chicken out, it's like, we want chicken, and then we got more customer. So I think like consistently find what people like, what your customer like, and I think that is the key right there.
I think it's very much true.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell you this is definitely the thing that is going to resonate with customers, and then all of a sudden they end up putting French fries in a burrito, and like there it goes, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Alex? How do you think about a piece of advice that you would give someone thinking about doing pop-ups, and something that you could share with them to help them be successful from the get-go?
Yeah, so definitely I would say the number one thing is to get your name out there, right? Which is social media, right? Either making content or hiring like a social media manager to do all your socials. And definitely, I agree with them on what they're saying. Just finding that thing where customers are, willing to like come back, and you want to have like a strong foundation and have like loyal customers, right? So like we actually didn't really serve a lot of like vegetarian options or even like for like pescatarians before, and so we've got to ask that a lot for the past year, and we just started coming out with those items, right? A lot of folks are asking about gluten free, and so hopefully in the future we are able to make that accessible for those individuals. So yeah, just finding what your clients or your customers like, and just providing that for them. Yeah, I think that's really important too. So yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
Gregoire, I think you're coming from a slightly different place. So any learnings that you had about the first, I guess now 19 months, 20 months of operating a food truck, that you wish you had known going into it?
Well, definitely, and we touched base on this earlier. Timing is everything. And when we first started, we got our truck on the road in November last year, and I can tell you, he was there for me. But that's it, because not because I was, whatever. It's because they knew Gregoire and they knew the brand, so they knew the food was good. So he did not give me a chance. He didn't have to take a chance. He knew it was going to be great, but not everybody was like him giving me a chance. And if you have a brand that's not well known, well, you're out of luck. You're gonna have to wait until the next season to really get, your gigs. So if I had a piece of advice, it would be definitely try to time your truck and try to time everything into the new season, because that would definitely help you tremendously.
Yeah, totally agree. And truck builders are busy over the summer, and so like the winter's the best time to be launching a new truck, so that by the time you get to the spring, you're ready to go, 100%. So, any questions? Anybody else? I don't know. Happy to throw it out to the
I
audience.
think I have a question, and I think maybe that's for everybody, because I think you all have, like now, listening to all of you speak, you all have different backgrounds, and I think you all also have different visions regarding your businesses. But I think now, especially being in San Francisco, when food is a very popular, I would say, culture here, I think it became eventually like, a cultural part of the city. How or what motivates you to kind of start your own business in that industry? So, for example, all of you, focus on the idea of like you have to get your name out there, and that's, very evident in being here, because obviously it means that you're competing with bigger brands or with stores that have been here for far longer, so it would be a little bit difficult to get yourselves out there. So what makes you feel like, oh no, I'm so determined to get this business going, and I'm really passionate about it, and I want it to be out there? So yeah.
Where's the hustle come from?
For us, when I moved here, because I was in Hong Kong before, and I was traveling like to other places. I feel like, because I'm Indonesian, it's very hard to find Indonesian food, especially when I came here. Like San Francisco is a big city, and then I look around like, how come there's no Indonesian restaurant? Actually, there were, but they closed down before the pandemic. Yeah, and then here, and then far from home, and then we miss our food, and bakso, the one that we serve right now, is actually my childhood favorite food. So I can eat bakso every day. So yeah, after that inspired us. Like I asked him, like we went back to Indonesia, brought him to my favorite bakso place. And then after that, when I came here, we tried to, the weather here is kind of like cold, chill. So bakso is perfect, like soup, warm. And yeah, he just keep trying, and then finally we make the bakso when we had like a baby shower, because it's a lot of our Indonesian friend who's like missing the childhood food too. And then they said, wow, this is so good, like this, and then why don't sell it, something like that. But that time, still not thinking about that. But when pandemic hit, we just for fun, like let's how do the pre-order, and then I just make my own logo. I don't have background in design or whatever, just like make it like simple. And then we're thinking about the name, like we came up with the gerobak, because gerobak means wheel push cart, which like the food itself sells from the food cart. And then yeah, we try to thinking about those things, and then the description about the food, how people understand about our food, and yeah, come out with the Instagram, and then we just like post, and yeah, and then people like excited at that time, especially for our community, which hard to find our Indonesian food. And after that, from pre-orders to pre-orders, and some people they have to wait like for 2 weeks because we have limited capacity that time. And after that, we want to make it like bigger, right? And then we rent a commissary kitchen. That time during the pandemic, a lot of people like closing down, maybe, and or not active. So that's why we find pretty fast that time, so we can increase our production. And yeah, until I'm searching like, oh, how about we join the events, like start to do food tent. And the first event, remember, with the food tent is in Auckland. The line was crazy, and we were like panicking. Yeah.
We almost like give up, like, oh, I'm gonna call
Right.
911 to give up. How you feel?
Yeah.
Like chaotic and yeah.
Yeah, and the Indonesian consulate also like supporting us that time.
Yeah.
They came with the consulate general, and then we were like, oh my god, the cows, we want to make faster. Yeah, and then after that, yeah, we learned at that time like how to make things faster. The line, like people not complaining, some people line up, and then the food sold out. Yeah, then it's still manual, took the order manually. I was like, wow. Yeah, and then after that, yeah, we do like we learn every day how to make it more efficient, faster, and then yeah, until now.
But it sounds like maybe at the core of the motivation is like really wanting to educate people around
About
Indonesian
Indonesian
food.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then
yeah.
and then we want to make the Indonesian food like Indonesian food popular here, because I think nobody knows.
Yeah.
They only know the instant noodle about Indonesia.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to introduce.
How about you, Alex? Where's the hustle come from?
Oh man, I would say I'm a backstory on this, but I'll keep it short. So I pretty much been on my own since 17. Came from a really dysfunctional family background. So I've just been working, since 17. Worked about 100 jobs for a short period of time, and and then eventually I was like, hey, like why not just be an entrepreneur and just start my own business? Because my dad's side of the family, they all have their own businesses, restaurants, whatever. And so I'm like, hey, like let's try this. And my first business, which is still current, I am a dog walker. So it's been great. But starting the food business last year, I feel like that's more of my passion. So we are, currently operating out of a food tent. And man, like it's just the fact that my fiance and I have came this far. It's just I didn't expect to come this far. It's just been only about less than 2 years, and just again starting from like doing pre-orders and operating out of a food tent, and just being invited or even searching to be at events, right, and just being picked to be there. It's been an amazing experience, and I feel like the more you do these events, the more pop-ups, and just being in this like whole community, I just feel like that's where the hustle and the passion comes from, right? If this is your passion, it doesn't have to be food; it could be like anything, right? I just feel like that's you need to have like a really strong mind and like heart, and just because you gotta pour all of your time and money and your energy into this of starting a business. But I feel like if you are very passionate about what you do and what you love, I feel like, yeah, that's just where like the hustle comes from. And again, like if it's just one bad day, it's not a bad life, right? So you just gotta keep going, right? And so I do envy people like, Greg, and the fact that he's been working since what, like 10 years old, and to see where he is at now, and with these folks over here and having their own food trucks and a storefront, and it's just really motivating. And I feel like I do want to surround myself more with that community and the individuals. And yeah, so far it's been great. And just again, I can't thank you guys enough off the grid for letting us experience this, and for the whole year. And so yeah, just looking forward to next year and the next years or so. And yeah, like I said, hopefully we can get our first food trailer, on the road, or even like a brick and mortar. So yeah, it's been great. Yeah.
Very cool. Gregoire, how about you? Where's the hustle come from?
Oh man,
42 years.
yeah, wow. I had a very difficult childhood too, but I would have to say I love people. I just love people. There's no bad people. For me, there's no bad people, only good people. And I love to make people happy. That's why people stay years and years with me, want to come back. This is my main passion, my main goal. It's just make people happy. So what a better place to be than to be in restaurant service, serving the service business. And that's all I know how to do. In fine dining, in farms, in collectivity, and I've done a lot of odd jobs in the food business to really find my niche. I worked at the Ritz for 7 years, corporate, structured. It all led to one place, my own business, which I never wanted to have. It's so uncertain. I am not an entrepreneur. I thought I was not, but damn, I was pushed into it, and I love it. I love every bit of it. So for me, my drive is making people happy, whether it's my customers, whether it's my employee, whether it's my farmers, whether it's my vendors, whatever it is. I don't like to disappoint people. I just hate it. So I'm just gonna strive and share as much as I can, whatever I can, to the world. There'll be franchisees, there'll be new employees. And to come back to something you asked earlier, and I didn't, about what I wish. I wish the restaurant business would be more open to talk to each other, because there is all this knowledge that is not tapped into usually in restaurants, and it's not like actually food trucks are a little different. I have to say, I've been in the world for a year now. There's a lot of camaraderie among the trucks that you don't have among restaurants, and I really, I wish you guys or we would talk to each other just like now. We can discover things that, or business practices or things that the other people do or don't, that they learn among, and I see it when I open a commissary kitchen, and I talk to people all the time, and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know this. Or the more you talk about your business, it's not shameful to make mistakes, if you know how to fix them. So the more you talk about your stuff, the more you learn, the better you'll be. Okay, so I learned that in franchising actually.
Yep.
Franchise people, they all help each other. It doesn't matter which franchise it is. It could be carpet putting franchise will help a restaurant franchise, because it's all systems, and they all want to share and be successful. So that's my take on sharing.
Well, it's a great segue, because we're doing more of these workshops. So we're taking next week off, but 2 weeks from now, I guess the first Tuesday of January, we're going to be doing basically like excellence in pop-ups, and so there hopefully people come in with the spirit of wanting to share. So please, if you could share it with people that you know, that'd be great and appreciate it. We're going to end, but there is a little bit of a hosted happy hour, so grab a drink if you care to. And really, thank you again for coming out, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Congrats on an amazing 2025. I'm excited to see you all. Thank you guys.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.